You are an Iranian expert. What are your top-line items that you're taking away from this?
I didn't know what the U.S. logic behind it was, because it was, in my view, the most serious escalation of the often hidden, sometimes open conflict that has been raging between the U.S. and Iran.
Do you have any sense of why the Trump administration did this now?
They say he was involved in anti-American activities. Isn't really anything new. That's what his portfolio was. That was his job for the last 20 years. So he's been doing this. Why is it that now he has suddenly become so dangerous?
Is there a logic to pursuing this strike right now, considering what's going on with the economy in Iran and whether they would be able to successfully retaliate?
The logic seems to be that you push them a little bit more and this regime will fall and the people will rise up against this regime. I don't believe that logic will work. My sense is that the opposite has actually happened. The regime, at least for a short time, will get kind of a strengthening.
Can you expand a little bit on where the people stand as it relates to the regime?
You know, for the first time, we have something like empirical data on how many people are happy with the current regime. A poll was released by journalists inside Iran and said less than 10% of the people are happy with the status quo. Mm-hmm. So you have a regime that is isolated. You have a regime that is despised by the people, by the great bulk of the majority of the people, in my view. I think 10% is fairly accurate. But if you have 10% of the population and you have some money and you have the power of ideology and faith behind you, you can still do a lot of damage. This is not a regime that is bereft of options. Mm-hmm. The fact that the regime is isolated, the fact that I think it's facing the most serious economic crisis of its life, the fact that that has been compounded with an enormous amount of dissension within the regime, the fact that the people are more angry than ever, the fact that women are more assertive than ever, have combined to create a very serious moment of challenge, I think existential challenge for the regime.
What are the biggest complaints that the Iranian people are talking about when a poll shows up and less than 10% are satisfied with the current regime?
I think the economy, educated young women in Iran are over 70% unemployed. Mm-hmm. Unemployment in general is above 20%. Inflation is above 50%. Corruption is absolutely endemic. There is a plundering of Iran going on.
So, as you mentioned, Iran is specifically economically weak, but they're not entirely devoid of options here. So, what are the options that Iran does have in order to retaliate?
Just remember, a few weeks ago, they went after Aramco in Saudi Arabia and did enormous amount of damage to Saudi Arabia and to the oil market. Mm-hmm. They can attack United Arab Emirates if they want. They have U.S. bases in Bahrain and other places in the Persian Gulf. There are a lot of U.S. soldiers there that are very much within missile distance from Iran. My sense is that they're calculating to respond in a way that they will save face, that Khamenei will consolidate his base, because his base is clearly that 10% is demanding revenge. He's calculating to find an option that keeps that base happy, but doesn't lead to escalation. The regime has survived, in my view, because there is a sense of caution in the Iranian people to try to avoid Iran becoming the next Syria, Iran becoming the next Iraq, Iran becoming destroyed by civil war.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.